Hi there. We're back today. This is Melissa, the director of the New Mexico Wildlife Center, and we're looking at Shauna, education animal curator, and she is holding Sly, our red-eared slider turtle. Just a quick note, here at New Mexico Wildlife Center, we are a nonprofit organization, normally open to the public, and I'll tell you more about us in just a minute. I don't like to leave Sly having to fly for very long there. Shauna, tell us a little bit about what you're going to do here.
Well, we're going to go ahead and feed Sly today. Sly gets fed 3 times a week. And red-eared sliders in the wild, here with us here as well, they are omnivores. A lot of times people think turtles just eat plants, but that's actually tortoises just eat plants. But water turtles like Sly here are omnivores. But she can be a pretty messy eater sometimes. So we take her out of her aquarium behind me there and we put her in her little feed bin here. So this is a lot smaller than what she's normally in, but it's just big enough for her to try to eat some food here. And on the menu today, we have chunks of salmon.
Okay, Shauna, I'm going to zoom in a little closer so everybody can see her get to eat her lunch today. All right, so if you don't mind, Shauna, let me just tell everybody a little bit about the Wildlife Center. Oh, wait, here goes Sly. Gulp. There she goes, having her lunch. Sly, how long has Sly been here at the Wildlife Center?
Sly has actually been here for 20 years.
Wow.
Sly's story is she was originally a pet store turtle. Someone bought her with the good intentions of keeping her as a pet, but then realized how difficult it is to keep these turtles and decided to donate her here to the Wildlife Center so that she can be an educational ambassador. So she is pretty much full grown right now. Red-eared sliders are very large water turtles here in North America. And they are found in a lot of areas of North America, but in most of the areas they are found, they're actually not native. They are considered an invasive species, which means that people get them as pets and unfortunately don't do as Sly's parents did. They release them back into the wild. And doing that has actually disrupted a lot of aquatic ecosystems and interfere with wild species of turtles and stuff, releasing those pets, because red-eared sliders are very much kind of like the bullfrogs of the turtle world. They can eat a lot of different things. They are very big. They can be aggressive to other turtle species, and so they've been kind of caused a problem for those other turtle species, kicking them out of their hunting areas, destroying their nests, things like that, in order for them to survive. So it's not really their fault. They're just put in a bad situation.
Right. So let me just catch everybody up. This is Sly, the red-eared slider turtle. We've had some folks just join us here on Facebook Live. And this is not Sly's normal home. This is her feeding tank. And Shauna, why is it that we put her in the feeding tank?
Because Sly can be a messy eater. You might see some little bits of floating debris in there right now. That's all little fragments of her food. And if we fed her in her tank, those little pieces would get clogged up in the filter and it would make us have to clean her big tank a lot more frequently. So it's just to help us maintain a cleaner environment for her so there isn't more bacteria, potential bacteria and stuff growing in her environment. And that way, when this is done, this little bin here can easily get disinfected and cleaned once she's done eating, and it's a lot easier to maintain than her very large swimming tank.
All right. So again, we are New Mexico Wildlife Center. We're a nonprofit organization. We're usually open to the public. You can come and visit us and see our animal ambassadors like Sly, the red-eared slider. Of course, right now, during the current virus outbreak, we are closed to the public. So we thought we'd share some of our animals like Sly with you here through Facebook Live. Incidentally, we are supported by grants and donations. So if you have if you enjoy what you see here and can share a little bit with us and with Sly, we would appreciate it. You can visit our website, newmexicowildlifecenter.org. And we are feeding Sly some fish today. And she seems to be a very good eater, Shauna.
Like I mentioned before, these guys are kind of like the bullfrogs of the turtle world here in North America. They eat a variety of food, everything from, in the wild, they would eat water plants. and fish to large insects, aquatic insects, not flying insects, but insects that live in the water, and fish, and even frogs, and
Wow.
pretty much a lot of different things they can eat in the wild. So she is a very good eater here at the center as well.
And as I recall, the last time we did a rough measurement on her, her shell was something around 10 inches in length. Is that about right?
That's about right. Yeah, red-eared sliders can get almost a foot long in
Wow.
length when fully grown. A lot of people don't realize that when they see them as cute little baby turtles in the pet stores, and they're a lot smaller, but this is actually as full grown as they can get. So they get pretty massive and need a good amount of space.
And do you recall what she weighs at her last weighing?
Oh, I do not recall, but I want to say, I should have looked this up ahead of time, but I believe she's around 10 pounds.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty close to that. So, yeah, she's a fairly significant turtle. One of the things we had to do, was it 2 years ago now, was to get her a bigger tank because she had grown so large, she had outgrown the last tank that we had. So she's got a brand new tank, which was donated actually by a very kind supporter of the Wildlife Center in memory of her mother, Billy Calvert. So we really appreciated that donation.
And Sly appreciated it very much too. She loves her new tank, and once we're done feeding her, we're gonna put her back in her tank so you can all see her enjoying her big, beautiful space that she has to swim around in.
Now, I notice as she's eating, she's using her forelimbs to kind of work the food. Is that what she's doing? Is she trying to tear it?
Trying to tear it and trying to maneuver it in her mouth. You may notice that when Sly is eating that she is in water as I am feeding her. Red-eared sliders to eat, they actually suck in water with the food.
Oh.
So it's like a suctioning, which maybe, I don't know if the microphone has caught that at all. With that, so when I give her, I'll try to tear off a smaller piece of fish here to see if you can see that sucking action a little bit easier with the smaller chunk.
And you can see her front feet also are webbed, of course, because she is a water turtle, so she uses them. Here we go.
See how it just kind of sucked right in there?
Slurps it in, yeah.
Slurps it in. So that's why she always needs to be fed in water, because in the wild, that's where they'd be getting most of their food is in the water. So she takes a piece and then there it goes. It's gone.
Yeah, so her front and her back feet. Let me just go back to her back feet here for a minute so everybody can see the webbed feet. And there's her tail. Turtles have tails, of course, and you can see her webbed feet, good for swimming, and the hard shell for protection. Excellent. Is she all done, Shauna?
She's all done. That's all of her food. So she got plenty of fish there, and she's a very happy girl right now.
All right. I guess you can see a big smile on her face there, huh? All right, so we'll back up a little bit and let Shauna pick her up. So that's her lunch for today. And you said she eats 3 times a week, Shauna?
She does eat 3 times a week. The one thing with red-eared sliders is, like, again, they are the bullfrogs of the turtle world, that they will pretty much eat to capacity pretty much every time they eat here in captivity. So it is very easy for them to become overweight or obese. So to help not let her get that large as far as her skin, not her shell, but the rest of her, we make sure that she only eats 3 times a week to try to help separate that out and give her time to digest that food before we add more.
She's like the rest of us, maybe puts on weight a little easier than she would like to.
Just a little bit. Okay, you ready to go home, sweet girl?
And there's her tank. She has a heat lamp.
Yep, she's got a nice sun UV lamp. I'm going to put her up here in a ramp, and it looks like she may go.
I'll back up a little bit and hopefully that'll encourage her to get into the water. It's fun to watch her swim.
Hey, Sly.
She's hanging out. So this is her tank. It's, I think it's about 6 feet long and just a little more than 2 feet wide. It is a beautiful tank, isn't it?
There she goes.
Here she goes. I'll stay back a little bit. Maybe that'll encourage her to jump in. Again, this is New Mexico Wildlife Center. We have almost 40 ambassador animals that you can normally see when you come to visit our center when we're open to the public, normally Monday through Saturday. Of course, during the current coronavirus outbreak, we are closed to the public, so we're trying to give you a few behind-the-scenes views here of what we do and how we're caring for our animals while we're closed. As a nonprofit organization, we sincerely appreciate all your donations and all the sponsorships that we receive. If you'd like to adopt Sly through our symbolic adoption program online, you can go to our website, NewMexicoWildlifeCenter.org. All right, let's see. Shauna, she's just going to hang out for us. We'll give her another few seconds and see
We
if
can
she'll
give her a
jump
few
in.
seconds. She looks like she was interested in going into the water there for a moment. Nope, there we go. Now she's focusing on it. And woo! There she goes.
Look at her go. I actually really enjoy watching her swim around. There you can really see her her webbed feet in action. And coming back to, just came up for, now this is an air-breathing animal, right, Shauna?
She is an air-breathing animal. She does not have gills, but she can actually hold her breath for minutes.
Wow.
For quite a long time if she needs to in order to swim around and look at her world. So you probably won't see any like bubbles coming out of her nose or anything like that. But she is gonna just kind of look around the bottom of her cage right now because she's probably thinking, is there any more scraps of food? But we never feed her in her cage. But she often, after we feed her, does like to start exploring her tank and try to see what's going on.
Now, Michael is reminding us that he was here and he got to see when she first went into her brand new tank and how much fun it was to see her swimming around in all that space that she had. All right.
So as Melissa has her face close up there, you can actually probably see the red markings behind her eyes.
Just barely.
Just
They're
barely,
there.
that kind of red slash behind her eyes there. That's why they're called red-eared sliders, because of those red markings behind both of their ears right there. And along with the yellow striping on the legs and the face and the neck.
Her face is just really cool, I think.
She's a very beautiful girl.
She is. Her markings are striking. She is part of our ambassador animal program. She often visits with school children who come to visit us, and she will travel into classrooms as well when schools are open, that is. Look, she's following the camera. It's kind of funny. Folks, just one more reminder. We are New Mexico Wildlife Center. We're a nonprofit organization. We are supported thanks to your donations and to grants that we receive. So we appreciate all of you who are our friends and follow us on Facebook and who support us throughout the years. Well, Shauna, do you have anything else you'd like to add before we close?
No, it looks like Sly's about saying goodbye to everybody right there.
She
too,
sure
right
is.
now.
All right. Well, thanks, Shauna, for your time. Thanks, everybody, for joining us today on Facebook. We hope to see you again next week. We'll have a tour of our hospital on the agenda for next week, as well as a visit with Olympia, our peregrine falcon. Thanks again for joining us, folks. Have a